Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Appalachians are dealing with water issues as some people are going days without running water. And a community came together to show their support to a firefighter that always has their back.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee here with you on January 29th at 6 o'clock. And it's also that time to check on in with our friend, meteorologist Megan Dusmal, for a look at that forecast this morning. And Megan, I know in the weeks past when it was very, very cold, we continually talked about the temperatures in Alaska. Have they finally surpassed us as being colder? Are we still in that weird deficit?
Yeah, we actually flip-flopped because a couple weeks ago we were in the single digits and they were in the upper 30s and low 40s. But that is what we're looking at today, but in the opposite way. We are looking in the 40s and they're looking in the single digits. Here is our look at our current temperatures, mostly in the 40s, some places in the upper 30s, the coldest being in the mid-20s, 25 for Grundy and Jonesville. But even that is still warmer than Alaska. Let's take a look at Anchorage, where their temperatures are at 8 degrees and we're looking around 43. So definitely an improvement from last week, I would say. As we head into the afternoon, though, we'll continue to see those temperatures warm up, looking in the mid-50s for most of the area, and upper 50s are not out of the question with those nice and mostly sunny skies. Already seeing 57 forecasted for Middlesboro and for Jacksboro. But in terms of precipitation, there is none, and we'll continue to see that trend as we're going through the next couple hours. There's some good news for you, but we do have a rain chance that will be picking up tomorrow. So there's something to look forward to tomorrow. Make sure you have your umbrella handy as you're heading out the door on your Thursday. But let's take a look at Wednesday's day planner. Will be nice and sunny for most of the day, hitting the high temperature around that 4 o'clock mark. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. Folks throughout eastern Kentucky are still facing water issues. This prompted officials to declare a state of emergency in Harlan County on Friday. Water service has been unreliable for several weeks now, and many are without water for days at a time. This is due to infrastructure failures in the county's aging water system. Judge Executive Dan Mosley says it became too much for the county to handle.
It got to a point that we felt like we could no longer manage it locally with the resources that we had. And our greatest resource that we needed in this particular emergency was people that were qualified to work on water systems and bottled or gallon water to hand out to citizens who were out.
Mosley says since bringing in state aid, significant progress was made. Water issues for people continue in Williamsburg as well. A series of leaks caused by the weather led to water outages. There are still several people without water on the south end of town. Right now there is a boil water advisory. It's in place for everyone in the areas of Highway 25 West from Cumberland Quarters south to the Tennessee line and all side roads in between. You are asked to boil water for at least 3 minutes at a rolling boil so it's safe to consume. An apartment complex was evacuated in Cumberland yesterday because of a possible gas leak. Judge Executive Dan Mosley says all the residents are either with family, friends, or staying at the Benham Schoolhouse Inn. Evaluations will continue today, but it's not yet known when residents will be able to return to the Housing Authority of Cumberland. The mobile dental unit is back on its wheels visiting elementary schools. This is the first time the mobile unit has been active since schools were out for nearly 5 weeks total due to snow. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino has more.
The University of Kentucky North Fork Valley Community Health Center has been active in schools throughout our region. They have been serving children of eastern Kentucky for almost 20 years on wheels. It's called the Mobile Dental Outreach Program, which provides preventative dental care on campuses for public elementary schools in Perry, Letcher, and Knott County. All children are sent home with a consent form at the beginning of the year.
And over the years, we've consistently had about 40% of the kids that participate.
She says about 15% of kids do not have any type of insurance. Services offered include examinations, cleaning, fluoride treatments, sealants, and oral health education. They focus on creating a positive and fun experience so it will reduce anxiety towards visits to the dentist in the following years. Through the years, they have seen a major decrease in children tooth decay.
Decay rate when we started was 69%. So 7 out of every 10 kids had tooth decay. We brought those decay rates down from 7 out of 10 kids down to like 4 out of 10 kids.
Oral health issues might affect students in the classroom, and they might struggle listening or doing well on their schoolwork due to the pain. And it also can affect their self-esteem. And the dentists here in the mobile care unit have said that they have seen students affected by self-esteem issues.
Is they'll say, I can smile again, I can smile again, and that's priceless.
Dr. Stone says as they have studied this through the years, there is a direct correlation with test scores and oral health. They plan to continue serving Eastern Kentucky children by improving their oral health and self-esteem. In Hazard, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
They tell us that anything they can do to help a child with psychological issues is a plus.
After having a mostly dry Monday and Tuesday, it's no surprise we're going into the Wednesday nice and dry once more. Let's take a look at that satellite and radar. No clouds, no precipitation, and that trend will continue all day long. We will have a little bit of those clouds pop up in the morning hours, tapering off in the afternoon, leaving mostly sunny skies as you hit those high temperatures for today. Speaking of temperatures, as you're heading out the door, here's what you can expect. We're in the 40s, upper 30s as you're traveling towards Williamsburg and London, and the 20s as you're traveling towards Jonesville and Grundy, 25 and 24 degrees. Here are those afternoon highs, though. We'll see the mid-50s for most of the area, a little bit warmer the farther south you travel, and a little bit cooler the further east you travel today. Next 12 hours, though, here's how you can expect that breakdown to go. We'll see those nice and sunny weather, and as we head into that 4 o'clock hour, that's when we'll see the high temperatures, starting to see those temperatures decrease as you're heading into the evening and into your Thursday. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. One Floyd County first responder spent decades giving back to his communities, and now his community is working to return the favor, raising money to help raise him up. WYMT's Buddy Forbes explains.
What's your passion?
His granny left him this little trailer, and he's been blessed to have it, but that was before when he was walking, you know.
As a first responder for nearly 2 decades, Matt Ambergy never expected to be sitting where he is today.
You know, normal life, home, family, work, rinse and repeat. Start going into 2020. By that point, I'm having trouble walking, I'm having trouble with my legs, and didn't know why.
In 2020, doctors discovered issues with his spine, which required a spinal fusion surgery.
It was that 70-30 chance that we had to take, and there's where we are. So. But it all happened for a reason. I mean, I still say that. It's all for a reason, it's all purpose, and nothing will hum you any more than have to sit here and look at life a little bit different.
For the last 5 years, the 35-year-old has relied on a wheelchair, unable to walk.
One thing about it, we're not strangers to adapt and overcome.
But has worked to find ways to continue serving his community.
They just know that I show up when I'm able to, whether it's the fire department, the food pantry. You know, I love doing that every month, but they just know that I show up. It's not what it takes for me to actually get there.
But he says showing up for himself and others has only become increasingly harder. With only enough access to move around with limited space in 2 rooms of his home.
You know, you can't get to the bathroom, you can't get to take a shower, you can't, you know, you have to get in and out of the bed with help. You know, that's where mentally it really sets in.
With safety as his main concern, he says Christian Appalachian Project helped get a ramp to his back door. And family friends recently helped build one in the front. But that only helps provide an exit, not an existence.
How do you go from a normal life and then your world's turned upside down to now you're, you know, in a wheelchair and you have to try to adapt in a home that's really not made for that.
And though his family was able to rig up a chairlift on his truck, it has a lot of issues since it is not the proper equipment needed.
And I've basically been stuck at home since New Year's Eve. So my list's been tore up since then.
So his community is rallying together with an online campaign. And Ambergy has been sharing glimpses into his day-to-day struggles,
It's been a difficult road.
hoping to raise enough money to help him upgrade his home or build something ADA compliant and purchase a van with an access ramp and hand controls to give him a sense of independence and safety.
It means a lot that they're behind me, and the love and support of it's like I said, it's unreal.
And while he hopes that he will one day walk again, he says he is so thankful to serve a community that is standing up for him until then.
You know, we got to keep pushing forward and we got to keep rolling.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Ambergy says once he addresses his needs, he also hopes to work with his friends to create a nonprofit to provide help and guidance to others who find themselves in his situation, saying it's more common than people might think. Well, thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. We've got more news coming up. A judge puts Trump's funding freeze on hold. Plus, there is a late night memo offering almost all federal workers a buyout.